Ángel la ciencia.
A soldier.
Hey, yo, what's cracking? Everybody, your player Carney, host of the Motion Country Gun, so Winnie the Bitch coming at you. And this is the 6th episode of What's Happening with Winnie, the podcast. And for a lot of you guys, either listening or watching for the very first time, this is our very first video version of the podcast as well. So shout out to all the YouTube people who hopefully will be tuning in. This episode is, I wouldn't say like, I think I say this with every episode. It's like they're all near and dear to my heart, but of course in my podcast, you feel what I'm saying? There's things I want to talk about. But I think that with this podcast, this one is something that means a lot to me in the sense of self when it comes to like self-growth, mental health, things of that nature. I feel like we all need to take a step back and be able to chat about this, whether it be on the 19th hole or on the first hole, with the practice round, or just in between rounds. Call your boys, check in on them, and make sure that you kind of like check in on people's mental health, because that is a part of the game that is very difficult to handle, and we'll talk about that. And it's also a part of life that's very difficult to handle and kind of hard to talk about unless you are comfortable with your own mental health and your faults as a person and the way that you can grow. And with myself, I kind of feel like I am, because with counseling and with therapy, with all the things that have happened to me in my past, I'm very comfortable with talking about issues, other harder issues that happen to me with my mental health, or with like my struggles with depression, or struggles with anxiety and insomnia and things of that nature. So I feel like this is a great episode going into it, because a lot of athletes, they do talk about mental health. They speak out about it. They have fundraisers and all sorts of like things like that, and foundations and things like that, and of those natures, to support and shed light on athletes who need to speak out, or men in general, or people in general who need to speak out about mental health. So with that being said, let me take a quick break to like get on track. And I want to bring the golf aspect into this, so people don't think that I'm just like going off on a tangent, like you tuned into a different podcast. No, this is still What's Happening with Winnie the podcast. We still talk about golf shit. So to kind of tap into that, this past weekend we had the Open. Louis Oosthuizen was actually ahead and leading, and I think I spoke about that in my last podcast that I put out. And just over the weekend, we had a great final round, both Saturday and Sunday. The top 5 was amazing. Jordan Spieth, Colin Morikawa, and Louis Oosthuizen put on a phenomenal show out there, and it kind of showed who could lock in. And I told my homeboy on Saturday, because he was like, man, the Masters is lit. No, Friday night. He was like, the Open is lit, bro. Like, I hope you're watching, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, man, like, you got to check out Colin Morikawa. Like, if you putting your money on anybody, make sure you put your money on Colin, because, like, the boy is locked in. He fits these type of moments. He has whatever that it is for those type of moments. And lo and behold, the boy puts on a show on Sunday, and goes out and fucking kills and wins by one stroke, I feel like, if I'm remembering correct. But just some notes that I got here, bro, just so I can like make sure I got it right. He is 24 years old. At the age of 24, this is his second major. It's just him. No, at the time of his first major, he was 23 years old. He had just won the U.S. Open? No, the PGA Championship. He had just won the PGA Championship, and he was 23 years old at the time, and it was only him, Tiger, Jack, and Rory who had done that. This is his second championship at the age of 24, second major, 5 wins on the tour in general, second major. He's been a pro for 2 years. He's won the the U.S. Open, or excuse me, the Open, and he's won the PGA Championship. He tied for fourth at the U.S. Open. So you can tell, like, in big-time moments, he's fit for it. And he said on the Pat McAfee show, he brought up that he has an eye for the course. Like, when he was playing the PGA Championship, he just feels like he has an eye for the course. You know how to read the course. And it's not because, like, he has a swing coach or a mental coach. It's just because he's locked in. He's put in the time, repetitions and all that good shit, because, like, he knows when it comes time to it, he needs to put in that shit. You know what I'm saying? He needs to pull it out. So I think that that's what separates your normal, like, muni golfers and people who are not even muni golfers, you know what I'm saying? Like, the pros. That's what separates the consistent winners from the guys who aren't consistent winners. And I've been saying this to myself a lot when I go golfing, and, like, I say it, like, to certain people in the groups that I'm with. I'm like, bro, you can't get too down on yourself, bro. It's already golf. It's hard enough. Golf is hard enough as is. We don't need to get that down on ourselves, bro. Like, the champions sometimes shake it. Which, if you go over to, after this podcast, go over to the Golf Cart Conversations and check them out. They have a great, like, catalog. Episodes 27 and 28 are out right now, and they both talk about course management and, like, things like that. And they're talking about the shanks in episode 28, favorite one. But no, it's like they have that ability to lock in, and it's only a certain few people, like, in our lifetime, especially in my lifetime, that had that ability that I was able to see. You know what I'm saying? It's like Tiger, Mike, Kobe, Bron, Wayne Gretzky, Sid the Kid, Tom Brady. Like, these guys have the ability to lock in and go to another realm when it comes to, like, their mental abilities to, like, ignore the bullshit and just focus solely on the job at hand and the task at hand, to where they can be 7-time champions in Tom Brady. That's crazy, bro. Or where they can be 6-time champions with no flaws in Michael Jordan, 5 championships in Kobe Bryant, 4 in LeBron James. Like, Wayne Gretzky has the most goals scored, and that's still a feat that no one's been able to beat. Tiger Woods, just 82 tour wins. 82 tour wins. Nobody. That's just crazy to think about. But, like, they had that ability to lock in. And I was watching one of the episodes of The Shop, and Kevin Love and Kevin Hart had kind of like a go back and forth type issue, where Kevin Hart was saying we can't compare Kevin Love to LeBron James because, like, LeBron James has a gene, the GOAT gene in him, and Kevin Love said no, it's in between the ears. That's where they lock in at. Like, LeBron James has been known to tell teammates, like, if you can't lock in, I can't trust you. And Kevin Love kept repeating that, and he said that it's all in between the ears. It's all in between the ears. And that's what makes great players GOATs. Because there's a lot of great players in the NBA. It's a lot of good players in our neighborhoods, bro. Like, growing up, I knew a lot of good-ass hoopers. You know what I'm saying? But they were your local rec league ballers because they didn't have the ability to lock in, to ignore the bullshit, to focus on the job at hand. And that's what GOATs have. I don't have that. I kind of equate golf to being a punter or a kicker, or like a very niche position like that, because it's all in between the head. You can feel everything, the wind movements, like the course and all that junk. Like, for me, I was an action type player. I played, return, play receiver, play defense. So I know if I fucked up on that last play, I can hit somebody on this play, get the momentum back for our whole team, get the momentum back for myself, get to feeling good, and then I can move on, and that can be the change in myself. On the golf course, I don't have those moments. I don't have that ability to lock in yet because I'm really focused on and really trying to get better at the game of golf, to where I can lock in and know, all right, is that shot a good shot or a bad shot? Is what can I learn from these shots so I can take on to the next place that I'm playing, go on to the next course, this, that, and the third. And I think that's all that it comes down to. to just like for real tap into yourself. And like I think if you look at it with Colin Morikawa having 2 major championships, 5 tour wins at the age of 24, he is to the game of golf to Giannis. What Giannis is to the NBA. Giannis is and I got those notes here. This is crazy. This blew my mind. His breakout year was 2017. 2017, he won the most improved player in the NBA, right? So he is a 2-time MVP. We know that. He's an All-Star MVP, a 5-time NBA All-Star, 3-time first-team All-Defense, and 3-time first-team All-NBA. And just last night, he became an NBA champion for the first time in his career. I said his breakout year was 2017. What happened? What mentally flipped in his head from him being that scrawny kid that we all remember, whose jersey was hanging off of him, to this Greek god that's playing basketball, 6 foot, like 6'11", 7 foot, 242. That man is a damn Greek god walking on a basketball court. Like, what changed in this man's basketball game? It was a mental switch. In 2017, Kobe Bryant was out putting out a bunch of challenges to players. I think like D-Book I'm kind of blanking out on the players that it was out there, but there was a couple of players like D-Book, Be Great, this guy do this, that guy do this, break this record, do that. And Giannis didn't get one from him. And he reached out and was like, what about me? And Kobe just said 3 words, MVP. And I think, I'm not saying that Kobe didn't mean anything behind it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, MVP, bro, like that's what everybody aspires to get. Go get the MVP. 2019, he wins the MVP. Kobe congratulates him on June 24th. June 24th is when he won his championship. And that tweet, he said, or not his championship, excuse me, he won his first MVP. And with that tweet, it said, congratulations on the MVP. Now go get a championship. And I think that what Giannis has been able to do, and I was kind of like going back and forth in my head, man, but when he won his first MVP, I looked at his acceptance speech. And what he's been able to do in 8 years in Milwaukee is LeBron-esque. You know what I'm saying? It's things that great players are able to do, GOATs are able to do, people who have that certain level to where they can turn it on and flip. He went 17 for 19 last night from the free throw line. Remember when people were counting to 11 for his free throws and he was airballing them? That was Atlanta. That was just Atlanta, bro. Like, people were really writing him off. Him and Chris Middleton, we all wrote him off, myself included. Especially when he got that hyper extension on his knee, I was like, I don't think he's coming back from this. There's no way he's actually coming back from this. I've had it happen to me. Not saying that I'm anywhere in the 1% of athletes that have that, again, that have that mental switch to where they can eat whenever they need to. Like, he knew he needed to eat, so he went out and ate. It's like, what's that boy's name? McConaughey said in The Gentleman. When a lion's hungry, that motherfucker eats. You know what I'm saying? He don't wait for nobody. He eats. So to me, it was just astonishing to actually see that growth in Giannis and to see the receipts that were left. I'm not leaving Milwaukee until I win a championship. He wrote that in the summer league. You know what I'm saying? MVP. What about me, Kobe? Get the MVP. Now after that, get an NBA championship. Now he's got an NBA championship. Like, I think that the sky's the limit for Milwaukee, and with that team camaraderie that they have there, that is going to help those mid-tier media teams, as what, you know, major medias want to call them, New York and LA. Those mid-tier teams, that's going to help them out to know that you can home grow things. It's going to take a while, but anything that is worth it takes a while. When your grandmama marinated some shit the night before dinner, or when your grandmama made great dinner, she didn't, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't Sunday morning she cooked it Saturday night, and then it marinated, and then, you know, it prepared, and it did its work on Sunday morning, and, you know, then Sunday after church, y'all got down with the get down. You know what I'm saying? But that's just like, again, that's a level that they have that a lot of people don't, and that's not a bad thing, because a lot of us deal with everyday trauma that's hard for us to flip in and out of. I deal with anxiety and depression very, very often. PTSD from military issues, PTSD from the neighborhoods I grew up in, shit that I saw growing up as a kid. That could be its own podcast in itself. But with all that being said, like even as an adult, there's things that that have happened to me in the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years that still have a very um, heavy weight on me, because I know as a person that's not where I want to be or who I want to be or who I even like as a person right now, and I apologize to myself for allowing me to get to that point. But I didn't have tools. You know what I'm saying? Like again, these athletes have these tools so they can go lock in. I didn't have tools to be the great person, or to be the person that's able to see both sides of the hammer. Even if I know I believe in this morally, I can still hear you out and see you and listen to you as a person without being disrespectful. Like that's like where I'm at right now, and I feel great about that. But because before I wasn't able to be like that. And you know, shout out to my mom. Me and her talk a lot, and she's like, baby, like I enjoy seeing the man that you are right now, because like that's not who you were. Like I was afraid most of the time when we called each other, because I didn't know what the conversation was gonna be. With, are you in jail? Do you need help? Like, what motherfuckers fucking with you now? And now all the conversations that me and my mom have are super fucking funny, super happy, upbeat. And she's like, I see the growth and the change in you, and I'm happy and I'm proud of the man that you're becoming. And I think that switch flipped whenever, for me, when I started to go to counseling. I wouldn't even say it was my daughter being born, because counseling came after my kid. So going to counseling and going to therapy, it kind of helped out, because I was able to release and go back and think about all the shit that actually hurt me, get down to the core, like to the core issue of it, and then be like, all right, that shit don't fucking matter right now, cause like at all, this shit don't fucking matter. Let's get over it. So I kind of equate that to the game of golf, because with golf, I've been able to do that even more in my life, because I've been able to play the game for what it is. It's a beautiful track with good people, and you're not great at this game because you started playing 3 years ago. You're not great at this game because you started playing 10 years ago. You just out here to enjoy the time, to enjoy Earth, to enjoy the track, and again, great people, great time. And I think that's the biggest thing that you can take from golf. So that's why me, and I hope all my homies listen to this episode, because I'm gonna push it on you. Or hopefully you're watching it, because like what I want you to know is like I push golf on you because that's a moment for me and you to be able to talk about your mental health. Like, how are you really doing? Ain't nobody else here. We ain't got fake the funk about shit. How are you doing? Because I'm gonna tell you exactly how I'm doing throughout this 18 holes. You gonna see it, because 1 or 2 holes I'm still having a tantrum, because you know what I'm saying, I'm still me, I'm still growing, I'm still trying to change, I'm still evolving as a person. So one episode, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna see 1 or 2 holes, you're gonna see me spaz the fuck out. But then every other hole, you're gonna see me super optimistic, super happy, positive, upbeat to the people 2 holes over. You know what I'm saying? I'm loud as fuck, I'm black as hell on the course. You ain't supposed to be screaming. I'm out here screaming at people. Hey Gary! You good, my nigga? That was a good shot. Good shot. And that's me. You know what I'm saying? That's me on the course, bro. But and I just want to share that time and that moment and that kind of like space with my homies at all times. And that's why also I push very heavy for the inclusiveness of black and brown people inside of these courses and inside of these events and main halls, because like there should be no fucking gatekeepers. It's golf. This game has evolved to have everybody, from Brooks Koepka being able to win a championship, Tiger Woods being able to win a championship, Jack Nicklaus being able to win a championship, Phil Mickelson being 50, winning a championship, and so forth and so on. Bryson DeChambeau being able to win a championship, like all that. Like the game of golf has evolved to a place to where we all should be able to be included. We all should be able to have conversations on the course about real shit, not just like your game, because again, it's not about good or bad shots. It's about what you learn from this shot to the next shot. I ain't trying to teach y'all shit, bro. I'm just trying to learn y'all a little something, because this is all I do. I sit and I like think about my shots. I watch all my golf shots before I put the videos out. So I think about all those things. That might not have looked good, but what can you learn from that shot? All right, look at your hips, look at your knees. You came back too much. Your arms went out. You went in too much. You came out too much. Like, it's just things that you can learn, ways that you can get better. Because at the end of the day, we all just want to be decent at this game. We want to be decent at life. I want to be a great father. I want to be better tomorrow than I was today for the rest of my life, because I've seen the other side of always being angry. And that shit don't work out. You lose friends that way. You lose relationships that way. You lose jobs that way. Fuck, you lose money that way. You see what I'm saying? So I was always told you get more flies with honey than shit. I think that that is a great way to wrap this episode up. Just to say, again, chat with people who you are comfortable with about your mental health. Make sure that people that you are not comfortable with or that you feel like might have some things that they need to get off their chest, don't berate them with your issues, or don't berate them and ask them like, talk to me about your shit, but reach out and let every one of your true close friends know that you are there to be a lending ear and a lending heart whenever they need it, because you never know who needs it. That's a smiling face on the street or somebody that's in your Rolodex. So with that being said, I am your play partner, your host of the Motion Country Cousin, Sir Winnie the Bitch Dog, and I truly, truly love each and every one of you. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to rock out with the podcast, and I appreciate that. Please go on over to my YouTube. You guys are already on my YouTube. Please go over to my YouTube and check out Honor Club Media. If you're over here right now, like, share, subscribe. Head on over to the Apple Podcast, download these, go over to buzzsprout.com, check us out over there, Honor Club Media. Honor Club Media on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. You know what I'm saying? I'm super reachable. Also, I'm going to be having some guests. I've talked about that before. I will be having guests on. I think I can say the name right now, but I won't. I'm just going to say 2 artists from the city of Eugene I'll be actually having on the podcast back to back for some pretty good guests. I'm going to be coming out for the rest of July. I love you all. Make sure you tell somebody that you love them. Peace.
A soldier.